Hi YouTube, long time no see. Today I'm going to be telling you guys about a dream I had while I'm doing my makeup today, because it was so weird. I woke up like, what? It was so weird. But the video, make sure you go check me out, because I post on my Instagram more than I post on my YouTube. So make sure you go check out my Instagram account at LearningMUAsh before we get into the video, and you like and subscribe down below, if you want. The dream started off with me in this like at a movie theater for a movie premiere or something, and I was like some kind of like important person. I was like, and so I had like my own like little seating area just off by myself, and I was wearing this hot pink, it was like a pencil skirt with this like tight fitted and then flared at the bottom shirt. It was so weird, and I'd had on this really big pink hat. It was an outfit. It was cute. So I went to go sit down with my friends, and they were like, no, you have your own like little seating area. We want you to sit here, So they moved me across the theater, and I was like, no, I don't really want to sit here, but I ended up sitting there. I don't remember actually watching the movie, but I know I watched it. So afterwards, I had met up with my friends, still in the theater, because people were starting to leave, and so it was just me, my group of friends, and a handful of other people still in the theater. And they were they being my group of friends were like, we're gonna go across the hall, we're gonna go. So the building, I thought it was just a theater, but it was a theater. It was a theater, and then across the hall was a dance hall, a dance room, a ballroom or something. And they were like, we're gonna be across the hall. And I was like, okay, because I had to change. I was gonna change out of my hot pink outfit into this, I don't know, just some more relaxed, clothes, I guess. I don't know. So I started changing in the theater. I went off into this little corner. I'm supposed to be doing my makeup. Oh my God. I went off into this corner and started changing in the theater. And in your dreams, when things, I wouldn't say lag, but it just takes you so long to do things. So I was changing for what felt like an hour. I was like, Ashley, hurry up. So I finally finished changing, and I go out into the hallway, and I leave. I had 3 bags of clothes. Who am I? What was my anyway? So I had 3 bags of clothes just sitting in the corner, and in the corner of the theater. And so I finally go into the hallway, and before I make it to the ballroom, there's no one in the hallway. And mind you, it's dark. And so it's me and 3 other people in the hallway. And then okay, so to my right, it's an exit. I can go out of, it's an exit. And then the other way is just further down into the building, I don't know. And there were 3 other people just standing there, just talking. And in front of the door, so in front of the door, it's so do you guys know The Office? It's I don't know if it was Jim and Pam or if it was John and Jenna, the actors who play them. But it was so weird because no one was talking. I didn't hear anything. They were just looking at each other, and then John kissed, let me just use Jim and Pam, because that anyway. So Jim kissed Pam, and he walked out of the door, and she just stood there like, okay. And then she goes outside. Pause on the story real quick. So I'm gonna go into the Saharan palette by Juvia's Place, and I'm gonna take Sokoto and use it as my transition color. Alright, so she goes outside after him, and for some reason, instead of going into the ballroom, I follow them outside. You know, I don't know why I didn't go. I don't know why I went outside, but I did, and I thought that she was like going after Jim, but no, she was just sitting in her car, and Jim was like long gone. Go back into the Saharan palette, and I'm gonna take Jamila. Jamila, and so now I'm just kind of like walking around the lot, like the parking lot, and I see these two boys like running around the parking lot. Okay, so the way that the parking lot was set up, it was like I came out of the building that I was already in, and there was like a building over here and a building over there. So it was like one parking lot for these 3 buildings, and I saw the boys running around the parking lot like trying to get inside all of the buildings, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, no, I didn't ask them. Like, I was like, in my mind, I was like, what are they doing? So they're like locked outside of all of the buildings, and I'm like, okay. And I go back, and I walk back to go back into the building that I was originally in, and the door is locked, and I'm like, okay. I don't know why I didn't think to like knock on the door for someone to let me in, but no, I went back to look for the boys to see if they knew what was going on. And so I see them still like running around the parking lot trying to get in to at least, you know, one of the buildings. And they run past me, and they're talking about like, they're like, oh, you can't go in there, there's a man in there, you know, there's a man like trying to get us or something. And I'm like, okay. And so I go and I see, you know, like I see a man's outline in the window. You know, I just see black, but I see him moving around the room, and I'm like, nope, not gonna do that. So I turn around, and I'm like trying to get into one of the buildings too. And so I'm like, okay, well, at least let me, you know, like go back to my bags and get like my phone or whatever. So, you know, earlier, you know, like I said earlier, I left my bags in the theater, you know, in the corner, but they were outside, like in between like a wall and a car. Instead of going into Aman, I went in with, what's this called? I think it was called New World. Yeah, it's New World in my Makeup Revolution Fortune Favors the Brave palette. Now I'm gonna go into Pink Diamond and put that on in between New World and my outer corner color. Oh, so I go to my bags, and they're just sitting there, and I don't think anything of it. I'm like, oh, okay. And I don't even know what I was looking for, because I got to my bags and I didn't, you know, get my phone. I didn't do any of that. I just stood there with my bags. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on my Elegirl Pro Concealer in Fawn. When I got, you know, worried, I was like, okay, so there's a man in there who, you know, I don't want to meet, and I can't get back into the building. And see, earlier when I had first walked out of the building, you know, I could hear the music and I could hear the people inside, and somewhere, you know, in the dream, like it stopped. You know, I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't hear the music. I couldn't hear, you know, people talking. And so I was going back to look for the little, you know, the boys who, I don't know how old they were. I am so bad with ages. Like, they looked like they were younger than me. they looked like they were like 14, but they looked younger than 14. But at the same time, they didn't look younger than 14. I don't know. It was, I don't know how old they were, but you know, they disappeared. You know, so now I'm in this parking lot in the middle of the night. It's dark outside by myself. You know, so I'm just stuck on this parking lot for the night. So, like, I fast forward, I guess, a little bit later in the dream, and you know, it's daylight. Now I'm gonna go into my BH Cosmetics foundation. So as I'm walking off this lot, I hear this voice that's just, you know, like it's speaking English, but it's talking really low, and I don't know, and it's a man, and I don't know what he's saying. Like, I picked up like a handful of words here and there, and it, you know, they didn't make sense. So I didn't get farther than a few steps off of the parking lot before I got scared again, and I was like, okay. So I don't really know what it was that, you know, made me, you know, scared. I don't know. But I look back and there's this like, it's not an animal. It looks like, you know those, okay, you know, I think the best way for me to describe this is like, so have you guys seen Black Mirror? There's an episode of Black Mirror where it's like these handmade like hound dogs. They're like mechanical hound dogs, I guess. And it was one of those chasing me. Now I gotta look it up because I don't know what episode it is. I'll like put like a picture in here of it. Like I'll find it and I'll put it in the video. But yeah, it's chasing me and I'm like, okay, and I start running. I'm like, okay, I gotta get around like other people, you know, like once I find, you know, other people, I'll be fine. There was no one, like no one around. Like I was by myself. I was like, and so I was trying to like run faster, but you know, like how you run in your dreams, like you're running but you're not getting anywhere. I wasn't getting anywhere, and I was like, Ashley, run. I was so irritated. I'm gonna go on my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit, and I'm gonna take bronze. So I look back again, you know, to see how close they are to me. And this time when I look back, it's like a ton of people chasing me. You know, it's like, it's a lot of people running after me. And I'm like, come on. And so, you know, I'm like, so I'm trying to run. Like, I really am. And I look back again and they're closer. And the closer they get, you know, I start to see their face. And their faces are all the same. Ooh, sorry, because I heard it. Anyway, their faces are all the same. And I'm like, bruh, are you serious? So, you know, I keep looking back because, you know, just to see, you know. And the closer they get, I realize that they're all just wearing the same mask. And I'm like, relieved on one hand. On the other hand, I'm like, even more terrified. I'm like, what is this? What is this? So I dropped my other lash and I had to put glue on it again. So we just gotta wait for that to dry. Forward again, you know, I start looking straight so I can see where I'm going. And they're all in front of me. Like, they're all just like in front of me. They're in a circle around me and I'm in the middle of them. And so nobody's saying anything, you know. I'm just standing there like and they're all just looking at me. And I noticed that all of their hands are like white. You know, I don't know why I noticed that. They were all white hands. So I thought that they were all, you know, white people. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But no, one of them takes their mask off, and it's this black guy. And, you know, so while I'm looking at him, someone else throws something at me. What? I don't know. I didn't even look. But he has something in his hand, and, you know, it's cocked back like he's gonna throw it at me. And then he looks up past me and he points to something. And I didn't even look. I was so scared. Like, I didn't even look. So I don't know what he was pointing at. But, you know, I don't know how it happened, but I think I did eventually turn around, and I look back, you know, at him, and everyone's gone except for maybe like 4 or 5 of them, you know, still in the mask. And one of them is holding their hands out, so you might not be able to tell, but I went ahead and I lined my lips with a brown lip liner. And now I'm gonna go into, I don't know if I'm gonna go into Jamila or Sokoto. So I'm done with my makeup, so I'm just, so I can talk to you guys now. I think the next time I do this, I'm just gonna do like an audio recording like over the video. I don't know why I didn't think to do that the first time. Anyway, so he's standing there with his hand out like this, and there's a ring on it with like a rectangle piece of, it's not paper, but it's like electronic. It's like an electronic ring, and on it is just like, I don't know, but they wanted me to sign something on their ring, and I was like, okay, no, I'm not gonna sign it, because like the vibe that I was getting, it was like if I signed it, I was like basically like selling my soul, basically, like I was giving up my freedom, you know, I was gonna be a part of their little like pack, you know, group cult or whatever, and I was not with it. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna sign it. Like they gave me like a pen or a pencil that I was supposed to, you know, like write on the pad, and I wasn't gonna like write on it, you know, and I was hearing like these different voices that, you know, they were just like, sign it, sign it, sign it, you know, like creepy, you know, it was weird. And then it was like, so I'm assuming it was like the people standing in front of me, you know, they had these masks on, so I couldn't see their mouths or anything. So I don't know if they were, you know, talking, if they were the ones talking, if it were like the voices, like just like these random voices that I was hearing. But they were like, no, don't sign it, don't sign it. And then they started saying things like, you're the one, you know, don't do it, you know, you can stop this. And I was like, I'm the one, I can stop this, what? They were like, no, don't do it. And, you know, I wasn't gonna do it anyway, but they were like, you can help us. And I was like, you're the chosen one. And I was like, I'm the chosen one, okay? They were like, you know, so they were just like, you know, they kept saying like, you're the one, you can do it. And I was like, do what? Do what? And they were like, you gotta go back. And I was like, go back where? Like, go back? What do you, go back where? And they were like, you know, you gotta go, you gotta go. And I was like, go where? You know, they just kept saying, you know, you gotta go back, you gotta go, you can do it, you're the one. And I was like, I'm the one for what? Like, I was so confused. And I was like, what do you want me to do? Cause like, they started making me like, I didn't feel bad, but I was like, you're gonna have to give me more than this. You're gonna have to give me more than what you're giving me. Cause I don't know what to do. Like, what are you talking about? And then I remembered the voice that I heard as I was leaving the parking lot. Now, I don't know, you know, what it was saying, but it was like, you know, like cynical, and it was like, you know, it didn't make sense, and it was like really low and deep, and I was like, you want me to go back to the parking lot? No. I mean, I ended up going back, but I didn't want to. So I'm like, okay, I guess. So I went back to the parking lot, and then I woke up. It was, and that was the end of the dream. But, as I was waking up, cause like when you wake up, you stop dreaming, like it stops, right? But like, and so the dream had stopped. Like I was awake, like my eyes were still closed, and I was still like, but I was awake, and so the voice was like, it said, "You're all mortals when you're dealing with my power," or something like that. Like I was like, okay. It was just really weird. So I had to like get that out. I had to tell you guys, because what? I don't know. And honestly, nothing was weird about the dream to me, because all my dreams they're weird. Nothing was weird about it until that, he was like, "You're all mortals, when you're messing with me," basically. Like that was weird, because I was awake and I shouldn't. I don't know. I just want to share that with you guys. My makeup is finished, the dream is finished, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. But before you go, make sure you head on over to Instagram and follow me on that account. I have the name, where I have the name. And I'll see you guys next time. Oh wait, no. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe down below. Now, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching.